just says bad at the top. AUSA.
Yeah, off you go. Hi guys, and welcome to the first of the 7 AUSA presidential candidate question time. And my name is Bright. I'm the current president for Welfare and Equal Opportunities. Kicking off with the debate, we have the candidate running for environmental and ethics, Dom and Rowan. The format of the debate is going to be simple. We'll start off by having each of the candidates will have 2 minutes each to explain why they're running and where they see the organization. And afterwards, I'll be asking questions. Some of them were sent in earlier. A couple of them will be from Twitter. If you have any questions, use the hashtag #AUSAElection, both on Facebook and Twitter, and I'll read them out. But we'll kick off. We've got 20 minutes to get to know who they are, why they are running, and where they will see the organization by the time they leave office. I'll start off with Rowan, because you're the closest to me.
Hi, all 5 of you watching. I want to make Aberdeen a better place by creating a housing co-op. I think this would reduce the rent for people. It would also make it democratically run by students, so you wouldn't have to deal with a dodgy landlord even if your rent's decent. And it'd allow pets, which would be awesome. Obviously there's issues with funding this, so we can ask the university for money because they did give us 8.5 million to redevelop Butchart, I believe, this year. And then in Sheffield, there's a housing co-op setting up there, which has just got money off the co-op. And I'd also like to set up I really want to keep the food co-op going how it is now, which could be an issue with the redevelopment of Butchart. But yeah, I'll make it a priority to make sure that isn't disrupted at all. While we're on food, I think it'd be great if it was easier to be vegan on campus, because I am vegan and it's tricky to find stuff. The corner's made it better, but it's still not great. Oh man, it's weird watching myself 30 seconds delayed. I've lost my train of thought because of that. I want every option that you're eating, every place that you have an option to eat at, to have a vegan option, and to make AUSA events always as standard vegan. That being said, not everybody's going to go vegan, so I've been just working with Guy Callan to help set up a meat co-op, and that'd be great to get done. And stuff that isn't so immediate. Just changing the way the university invests would be fantastic. That is investing in new technology that will make our lives better in the future, and growing sectors that will provide jobs for us. The renewable sector.
Thanks. Dom, Mark, is the same question.
Okay. There's kind of 3 sectors that I want to concentrate on. Again, like Rowan said, the cooperative kind of movement, as well as kind of environmental aspects, as well as ethics aspects. So within the cooperatives, I also want to continue working within the housing co-op. I was actually involved with the starting up of the housing co-op initiative within Aberdeen. There's brilliant examples in Edinburgh and Birmingham how this can be done very well. I've also already made contacts with plenty of people within the council and with local cooperatives in Aberdeen to actually make this possible. For me, I'd have an ambition to get this started by the start of next year. So, the year after I'll be running. So hopefully that can really kick off. Like Rowan, we seem to know the same people. I want to start a meat co-op, and it's something that I just think would be really, really handy, especially when we consider ethically sourced meat is so difficult to come by. Within the environment, some things I think could be done so much better. We need to give an incentive for people to help the environment. Unfortunately, not everyone has the same ideological drive. So I would like to lobby the university to install smart meters in all the student halls, so we can monitor the energy expenditure of each flat. in the long run, the goal is to reward students who save energy. This is something that already happens in Ireland, and there's no reason why we can't do this over here. Within the ethical framework, I want to end promotion of law. I'll lobby the university to review its relationship with the Military Education Committee. Also, I want to make the E&E position a networking hub. In the same way that sports is a networking hub for the sports union, societies for the society sabbatical officer, and charities for the charity sabbatical officer. Groups that want to affect change on campus should be given a networking hub to do so. Groups like UNICEF, the Centre for International Sustainable Development, as well as multiple faith groups that all try to do very good work on campus. I want to bring them all together and make sure they coordinate their action much, much simpler.
Okay. Thank you. So now, other questions I'll ask, as I said, it will be from what people are sending. People keep bringing it. AUSA, hashtag AUSA election. You can use the Facebook and Twitter, and I'll get it out to you. But I'll ask you a generic question. As I said, 20 seconds each. The first one is, why are you running? 20 seconds. I'll start with you, Dom, because you went first. So, why are you running?
Well, I'm currently the ethics rep for the Environment and Ethics Committee, so I've already kind of done quite a lot within my role, and I kind of just want to expand on that, to be honest. I've got good ideas, and I think I'll work well within the building. I'm already the evening building supervisor, so I guess it'll be a step up.
Okay. Can I ask you the same question as well?
I think I can make Aberdeen a better place. I know too many people that are just sleeping on sofas and they just couldn't find a place, and I really don't want that to be the case next year. I'm ethics rep for Shared Planet, just to copy Dom's thing of being an ethics rep.
Okay. We've got a question from Alana. It says that both your manifestos are incredibly similar. Why are you the right person for the job? I'll start with you, Roy.
I'm the right person for the job because I'm really passionate about this. I've been working just a lot on environmental campaigns and to help set up the Corner Co-op, and I was at the founding conference of the Students for Cooperation movement.
Yeah. What about you, Dom?
I guess it's a degree of emphasis. Where do you think your emphasis is? And I think the environment and ethics position is, as of yet, undefined. And there really needs to be an attempt to coordinate action within that role. As I was saying about kind of networking hub, I think that's something that I could do very well and create that body in which to do that.
Okay. Thanks. I'll start with you, Dom. What key environmental issues do you think are most relevant to students at Aberdeen?
Well, you can kind of... People do things and people campaign for things and people do things for three reasons. One, because of the ideological factor. They are the very small minority. Two, because it's trendy. And three, the vast majority of people, because they've got a benefit to it. It benefits them. So policies like mine, like money back for saved energy and installing smart meters within student halls, would give an incentive to students to help the environment.
Okay. Thanks. What about you, Ron?
Can you read the question?
What key environmental issues do you think are most relevant to students at Aberdeen?
Just the debate between which energy we use, fossil fuels and renewables. I don't want anybody out of a degree, but I do want us to start investing in renewable energy, and that wouldn't get anybody out of a degree. Just to be clear on that.
Dom, I'll just go to you. Guys, keep your questions coming in. AUSA elections, hashtag, use Facebook and Twitter. I'll read them up. Dom, what will your first action be once in office?
Something that's really quite dull, but really needs to get done, is I want to bring in get university and the student association to buy a biomass compactor, because right now what we do is we have an outside company come in and collect things like our coffee granules from Alfie's, and then we pay them to take that away, and then we actually buy in fertiliser. In the long run, that's not sustainable. What we should do is just actually invest to save money in the future. Again, that ties in.
What about you, Aaron?
First action would be making sure that the Corner Co-op has a place next year, because I think it's a fantastic thing both for students getting the food and in terms of us being able to do more ethical stuff and having a presence on campus.
I'll just start with you, Ron, this time. What would you do to ensure the student movement between campuses is both accessible and environmentally friendly this coming year? I assume it's about Forester Hill student commuting.
It's not something I've really given too much thought to, because I think both campuses are fairly insular. So I think making both campuses environmentally friendly is the way to go. But so yeah, I haven't really considered movement between the campuses.
Okay. What about you, Dom?
Right now, I know the current president, Eva, has invested in the transport infrastructure to make things like the veg bag much more accessible to people in Forester Hill. I'd like to continue policies like that. I think recent developments with Forester Hill or Forester Hill Convener and having more active role are quite good. We're on track for that, so I don't want to say too much about it because there's not much more we can currently add within our role.
Okay. Thanks. I think it's a question for you from the current president for environmental and ethics. Dom, can you explain your last time? About making E&E a social hub.
Okay. So that's I think that refers back to the networking hub. I've kind of touched on it in the sense that sports have someone to go to, and the sports president, and societies have the societies president, charities have the charities president. Groups that want to affect change either locally within Scotland or globally don't have a centrepiece they can go to. I've campaigned for groups like the Centre for International Sustainable Development, and I've not managed to kind of break in and create a holistic approach to this.
Okay, thanks. I've got one question for you from Chris Shanks. It says, could you expand on your plans for the future role? And I assume something to do with your manifesto.
They're all plans for the future, so it's kind of hard to answer that, but basically, easier to get ethical food, make it easier to get housing in the city and cheaper, which is very much doable with university and cooperative help, and invest in technologies like renewables that will improve our lives in the future.
Okay, thanks. I've got an interesting one here that says that, what will your first action be once in office?
Do we not have this already?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So I'm really sorry about that. I think it's repeated twice. Which other officer role do you see yourself doing the most joint work with in your year ahead?
I think that there's a strong tie-in with welfare there, because just ethics of students having houses is also very much tied to their welfare. So yeah, definitely welfare.
Yeah, what about you, Dom?
Well, I know Rob, who's unopposed, was quite instrumental in starting up the co-op stuff for the housing. So I would actually work closely with Rob, who's the education and employability, to make sure that got off the ground.
Okay. I'm just asking about your manifesto. What is the core thing on your manifesto that, if you can't do anything on your manifesto, what is that one thing that you definitely would want to see do by then before you leave office?
I think we're going to have the same answer for this, which is the housing co-op.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely housing co-op.
Yeah.
Do you see it happening next year?
I do, but I think the problem so far has been that we've not managed to emphasise the right things. So instead of saying, "Oh, what can the university do?" we should be taking it from ourselves and saying, "What can we do?" We need a planning report. We need a financial report. We need to get these things off the ground right now. And I've already made links with cooperative groups in Aberdeen and housing co-ops to get that started.
Okay.
All I need is more time to invest in that.
I think as this. The housing co-op's massively important. So I would see that being set up next year with probably ready for students to move in the year after that. I think we need to advertise this to students on campus a lot more, because that's been an issue with AUSA this year. And I think I disagree with Don, and I think we do need to get in touch with the university and just make this thing they invest in, which I think they would, because they are redeveloping a hillhead. So that shows they do care about student accommodation.
Okay, so I'll now ask you a couple of general questions about AUSA. What student demographic, if any, do you see benefiting the most from the work you plan to do?
Students that don't have houses.
Is that you?
Well, I mean, I'm going for a housing co-op, and like I think the priority people for a housing co-op would be the people that are not currently housed. So I mean, like those people and people that are just forced to work long hours to the detriment of their studies would be the ones to benefit most from that.
What about you, Dom?
I want to be clear that the housing co-op stuff is really important, but this is a long-term strategic plan. The housing co-op's going to probably start off quite small, so we can't overly rely on that for the effective students right now. For me, I think students that aren't currently necessarily involved in environmental aspects would be the most benefit from my work. And again, things like a networking hub, having someone to go to, and then having that direction. I think everyone who's involved in any society that is there to affect change in the community.
Okay, thank you. Also, Dom, what do you think is AUSA's biggest weakness?
Me?
Yes.
Hiring me for evening building supervisor. No, I think AUSA is too insular. We have people that are involved in societies, and I work here, and every day I see the same faces come in, and it's great. They're great faces, but it's the same people and the same societies, the same rooms being booked, and there's a repetition which I don't think is very healthy. We don't stretch out beyond what our comfort zone is.
Okay. What about you, Ron?
Yeah, again, like it doesn't reach out to other people, and I think just like advertising more around both campus and Hillhead and doing things in Hillhead, just holding meetings there would be a way to fix that.
Okay. I'd just like this question as well. At the last AGM, the fossil-free motion failed. What are you going to do to engage students in educating students about it? Is it something that you'll be working on or not working on to bring it back next year?
Yeah, I'll absolutely be working to make fossil free an important thing on campus. I think there was just it wasn't very well explained at the AGM, and I think people felt kind of that their degrees were under attack, and that absolutely isn't the case. So, I mean, I think it's a matter of talking with, for example, the Society of Petroleum Engineers, and just trying to get information on both sides.
What about you, Dom?
Like Rowan, actually, we both have talked about this, and we both actually agree that the fossil free wasn't actually necessarily a bad motion, it just wasn't well understood. However, I think there needs to be a change in emphasis. Why are we actually invest? I'm not saying we shouldn't accept the money from oil companies. What I'm saying is we shouldn't be investing money in oil companies. I think that's an important distinction to make.
Okay. Give us one idea you have to engage students who aren't involved in AUSA. Dom.
Sorry, could you repeat?
There've been lots of talks about AUSA being insular and AUSA not engaging. So give us one idea how you do that to break down the barriers and get more people involved with the association.
Well, something that was actually quite interesting was we had, just in the week coming back from the Christmas holidays, there was a week of new kind of societies and new groups where people couldn't book rooms, but then other societies came in, and there was a lot of fresh faces, a lot of people that didn't know what Alfie's was, a lot of people that didn't know where the rooms were, and that shows that they were. And they had really good events on, things like the Paintball Society. And there's a willingness there. But sometimes we kind of look after our own and the same people, and people get to book things in a long term. It's good, but we need more availability.
What about you, Ron?
Well, I'd make sure that AUSA events are better advertised on campus through posters and also by making people aware of them at an earlier point. And I would also aim to have meetings with students in various locations around campus. You know, that's Forester Hill and Hillhead included in that. Meet and talk with students. Just like we can have a sign saying environment ethics. Ask me what you want.
Okay. Hold on, I think we've got one question coming in. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Okay, so we've talked about AUSA's weakness. Now, what is AUSA's biggest strength?
It has people with enormous passion. And like I know people that come to the Shared Planet like a lot, and just for like a bowl of soup, will work like 4 hours. People at the corner co-op, fantastic. Just like they work so hard and do so much stuff. So I mean, like, yeah, just people are
Okay.
great here.
What about you, Dom?
Although I've criticised the insularness, it does create a community, which is really interesting, and there's a lot of kind of cross pollination within the groups, just in friendships and things like that. So I think the community aspect's really good. I know since working here, at the start of the year, I've made a lot of friends just through different societies and things, and they all look after each other quite well.
Okay. We've got one coming in from Christopher Wilde. He says, what renewables do you want to see the university using and where? Dom.
This is going to sound a wee bit up in the air, but something that has been proposed was a windmill for the student association. Mackie, who's our rector, was involved in discussions to actually get that. He has a self-funding farm and a self-energy raising farm. We can actually use his expertise and get that for the new students association building.
Okay. What about you, Ron?
I'd seek to invest in like tidal power, because just over the past few years it has been it's listed under other alternative energies, and that sector has been growing a lot in terms of how much energy is generated for it. So I think that's the best fit.
Okay, so we've got a few seconds now. I'm just going to give you, it's got 20 seconds each. Then you can tell us the 3 things that describes you and your manifesto and where people should vote for you. Does it make sense?
So you're asking us for 3. You're asking us to say 3 things now? Or?
Yes, no. Okay, so start with you. Go.
Like housing co-ops, ethical food, and just like I look fantastic.
What about you, Dom? What about you, Dom?
I can't deny that, but for me it would be cooperatives, a holistic approach, and enthusiasm, I guess.
Okay. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching. It's going to be posted
Yes.
on the AUSA Facebook page. If you missed it or if you join us halfway through it, don't worry about that. And the next one, we've got charities and community coming up soon. Get your questions coming in if you've got any questions for charities and
Yes.
community.
Can we
And
shuffle our
thank you
papers?
very much. So, yeah, thank you very much, and good luck. Election starts next week. So.
Cheers.
Right.